Gets the floor again. Let's call a spade a spade. The Russian argument, the Russian government has argued quite strongly that the presence of Western arms in Ukraine would be seen as a threat to the stability and the security of the Russian Federation. Now, if that's the case, would you disagree that the presence of Russian arms, not outside of Ukraine, but in Ukraine, is actually a threat to the security of Ukraine? Or are you saying there are no Russian arms in Ukraine? So what's the logic? Yes?
I'll answer. I do not know whether you will be able to take this more. Oh, sorry. Okay, Ukraine Chief of Staff admits no Russian troops in Donetsk. A statement made January the 29th, I believe, right now. After that, sorry, like that, yes. After that, immediately, there was a second statement by the Prime Minister of Ukraine, Mr. Yatsenyuk. Of course, there are Russian troops in Ukraine. And no reaction on this one, and very strong reaction of support to Mr. Yatsenyuk when he delivered his message. There are no troops, of Russia in Ukraine. As we have a civil war there, believe me, you have so many people who are infiltrated on both sides. It is absolutely impossible to hide any delivery of any military equipment or troops to the eastern southern part of Ukraine unnoticed. Absolutely excluded. You have so many people there with their eyes and ears who would provide you with all possible information showing Russia as an aggressor. It does not exist. There is no evidence. There are just statements and statements and statements about Russian tanks and aircrafts and troops and so on and so forth. Where are the evidences? There are no evidences. And no, there are no Russian troops in Ukraine. That's it. Deliver me any additional information on that. I would be happy to take it up back home to Moscow with me.
Radek Sikorski, and then we
of course, each time people would start shaking their heads, but where are the evidences?
Well, here's my dilemma. If you're right, I need to fire everybody in the American government. I need to take every general, every intelligence analyst and say, you're fired. I need to suspend disbelief, personally. I need to believe that you are a democratic nation trying to make sure the anti-democratic forces in the Ukraine don't prevail. I'd have to believe that the only reason you're in the Ukraine is because there was an anti-democratic movement inside the Ukraine, and being the great democracy you are, you wanted to set it right. I don't believe that. I believe that if I said anything Putin didn't like, I'd be in jail. I believe that Russia is going the wrong way, not the right way. And I believe the international community should take in account what you've heard today. You're legitimizing this garbage. You're legitimizing this garbage. And you need to push back. The last time we allowed people who had the designs of Russia and Iran to move forward, who are anti-democratic at their core, a lot of bad things happened. The Russian position is intellectually unsound, it is factually untrue, and people are dying. So here's the equation to the Chancellor of Germany. Do you really believe any of this you've heard? Who are you trying to upset? Are you worried about upsetting people who will just lie to your face and could give a damn about their neighbor and the rule of law? How about trying to help somebody that you actually do have something in common with? I don't know how this ends if you give them defensive capability, but I know this. I will feel better because when my nation was needed to stand up to the garbage and stand by freedom, I stood by the freedom. They may die, they may lose. But all I can tell you is if somebody doesn't push back better, we're all going to lose, because who would join us in the future? What does an agreement mean anymore when the United States and other world powers sign it? Would you really give up your nuclear weapons? What are you telling the Iranians about our resolve to stop their nuclear program? You know, Scotland had a decision as to whether or not to break away. I don't remember one British tank in Scotland. So at the end of the day, to our European friends, this is not working. You can go to Moscow till you turn blue in the face. Stand up to what is clearly a lie and a danger.